cannot be afraid of failing if you want to learn. Let's say in this video a little bit about fears, effective learning, and there's no such thing as the right moment. I had a fun little trip this weekend and I had the pleasure to learn to ski. So I skied for the first time and I learned to do it. The thing is, ski can be quite dangerous. And if you're a beginner, it's normal to feel a little bit of, pressure and fear of, trying it out and maybe hurting yourself. Not only because you can hurt yourself a little bit, but because in theory you can die depending on where you are, right? In this case, it was in the Alps. So it is normal to have fear of some things. But the problem is, if I wanted to properly learn ski like I did, I couldn't be fearful of falling down. Because every time I fell, I was actually learning it. If you're doing it the right way, every fail you have, every time you miss, you learn how to get a little bit closer to your goal. So in this case, for example, every time that I fell down, I would ask myself, okay, what did I did wrong? Was it too much pressure on this leg, or was it the position? And you iterate and you try. That should be the same process with any business you may have, any project, any new skill you're trying to learn. You gotta do it enough times so that you understand what works and what doesn't for you. Okay, because for example, for me, I learned to ski in a way, right? It was the first time, so I learned to ski in a way that I could do it without falling down, get enough speed to have a little bit of fun. But then maybe another person will try to do the same things that I did and it won't work out for them. So you gotta figure out what works for you, and you can only do it if you let yourself have the experience. So again, it is normal to have fears, and you probably saw yourself in a situation where you couldn't experience something because of fear. Usually when we are kids, we do this kind of stuff, or the opposite. We, as kids, we are like crazy, we do everything, and then as adults, you become fearful of stuff. But the thing you gotta realize is that most, if not all, fears are actually the fear of death. I'll still make a video on the death card, which I'm gonna go deeper a little bit on it. But what you should know today is that, let's say the worst that can happen is dying, okay? Let's put it this way. That's not even that bad. Because what is dying, you may ask? Well, dying is getting rid of this body right here, the physical one, the sarcophagus you are stuck into right now. So sure, you may not get to experience life here anymore, and there's many things that you still want to do, and so on and so on. I'm not advising here for you to dispose of this like there's no value. That's not the point. But the point is that if you understand this a little bit, then you can control your fears more. Because fears are not a problem. If you don't have fear of anything, you may place yourself in two dangerous situations, and that's also not good. Okay, so the point is not to have no fears, but to control your fears. For example, I had enough fear to not let myself get too much speed and fall from the Alp and get myself killed. But I also didn't have fear, like too much fear to the point of not being able to try it out, to test, to do the thing, and to have fun. Okay, so you gotta, again, always try to find balance. You gotta use emotions. In this case, we're talking about fears. But you gotta use them as some kind of thermometer to understand your situation and to adapt. Remember, I already made a video on the Empress, which is waters, which is emotions, which talks about adaptation. So emotions should help you adapt to situations, even the good ones. So you don't take for granted, oh, now I'm feeling happy, now it's fine. No. Think about it. Why is it that I'm feeling happy? Because sometimes you shouldn't be feeling that happy. Or feeling happy in that situation should actually signal to you that something is not necessarily so good. Maybe someone that over pleases you just to try and get you to do something, right? Think about it. So that's something. Now, the second one is effective learning. This is something that works for me personally, right? But I think I might share because it might help someone else. Every time that you're trying to learn something new, first of all, if you're just doing it out of, habit or because you have to, it's gonna be really hard. You gotta try to find a way to make it fun, to make it enjoyable. So it makes the process, I don't know, at least 10x, 20x more efficient, faster, just because you like it. Why? Because first of all, you're gonna spend more time on it, and you really need time to learn stuff. Because even though you may, kind of get it quickly, the theory, you need practice. Theory and practice, okay? So you need the practice as well. You need some time to get to do stuff. Now, how can you find it enjoyable? Let's say if you're in college and you have to learn something just for the sake of doing college. Try to find ways that you can learn the thing that maybe are unorthodox. For example, language learning. You can always find movies or stuff to watch that is cool to watch, like you want to watch, and you use that opportunity to learn a language because you can watch it in, let's say, another dub or something. So a lot of people learn English that are not from America, obviously, or places that speak English naturally. They learn it through this way. They listen to music, they watch something, and they really want to watch it, and there's only the English option, so they ended up learning a little bit anyway. So that's the idea. Try to find ways to make the process enjoyable, not only because you motivate yourself to do more, you put more hours there, but it works. It's something in the brain already that makes it easier. It makes it enter easier. There's no barrier stopping the knowledge to come, okay? Another thing is to try and find ways to connect what you're learning to stuff you already know. So for example, if you know programming and you're trying to learn something in biology, for example, you try to connect those two. I'm gonna speak a little bit more about this on the video on the fool, okay? In the future, it may come. We're talking here about building bridges of knowledge. So you know something about this and you know something about this as well, and you connect those two, okay? And this makes the process much easier because now it's kind of like, instead of having two islands, you have some big circle of knowledge, okay? And that grows and grows and grows. And then the more stuff you know, the better you get at doing stuff. And the thing is, there's no, obviously, the older you get, the slower it may seem to you to learn stuff, but that's actually a mind thing. If you put into your head the idea that you can learn stuff, you learn anything. For you to learn something new, let's say there are this amount of stuff for you to learn about something, anything. For you to actually apply it, for most use cases, you just need to know this much, or even less. So it doesn't matter, really. Any age, you can be a kid, you can be older, it doesn't matter. You just need to know a little bit. And this you should be able to know in a week or so. Especially nowadays with AI and all this stuff, there's no excuse. If you want to learn something, it should be quick and easy. And then you iterate. If you actually are not seeing too much value on what you're learning, then also just stop it. Ask yourself, why is it that I'm learning something? Try to go and be efficient about it, because then you can go and learn some other stuff. And again, the more you learn, the easier it gets to learn more stuff. So, another thing that this trip made me think about is this. There's no such thing as the right moment. So a lot of people think like this: oh, when I have enough money, I'll travel. When I have enough time, I'll make that project. When I have a six-pack, I'll go and talk to other people, so on. It doesn't work this way. If you want to travel, just go and place yourself in the situation of going to travel. Go look for flights, go fucking book a flight, whatever it is. Just go and do it. Because otherwise, this when never comes. Because the way it actually happens is like this. Say you want to travel, okay? and you're waiting for the right moment. You're waiting to have enough money to buy the trip and so on. You never know what will happen in the middle of you're here, and let's say you have 1K, okay? And you're waiting for the potential future of being here. This is the future you that will have, let's say, 5K to travel. You never know, and you cannot know what will happen in the middle. It could be that in the middle, your car crashes and then you lose 3K. Or like you need to do some other stuff and some other priority comes that now this becomes harder. Or that this comes, but then it's not possible anymore to travel. Let's say because now you have a job that you cannot take vacations or whatever. So the thing is, if you don't put yourself into the correct place and you don't build momentum to get there, it just never happens. If you say to yourself when you have 1K, and let's just suppose here that you need 5 to do the trip you want to do. If you don't put yourself into the situation of, let's say, booking a flight or telling people that will travel with you and so on and so on, things won't just happen. That's it. And other things might happen in the middle that will make your last plan, the plan of like traveling with 5K, a lot harder or impossible. So when you say to yourself, look, I'm gonna go and do this, things just start happening. And now you have the responsibility to go and do them. For example, if you wanna do a project, try to make it so that other people also expect it. For example, that's one idea, right? That works out for me. Sometimes when I'm doing a project just for myself, it's like, I'm always thinking, okay, maybe I'll do it afterwards or so on. But then when there's someone that I know is expecting me to do it, that is much easier because now it's like, okay, there's someone, so I go and do it. There's like something that draws me into doing it. If you booked the flight, for example, with the only 1K you had for it, but now you need 5K more to, let's say, book the hotels and the other stuff you want to do. Now that you have the flight, you have to get this. So you're for sure putting more effort, putting more mind focus into this. And guess what? Where you put your focus is where the universe brings stuff to you. Remember, this is an electric thing. When you're creating stuff, you're here, right? Let's say you're meditating here, and you're sending electrical signals to the simulator, and it reflects them back to you. So you send them and they reflect. So if you just have this thought of traveling, but it's like once every 6 months or something, it's rarely gonna happen, okay? Almost never. You gotta be kind of obsessed with it. You gotta be focused on the thing. It's much easier for you to manifest stuff if you focus your full being on it, all your cells, all your energy, all your focus on it, because then it's super quick. And then you can move to the other stuff, so on, so on, so on. So a very nice visualization technique you can do, this is gonna be the last thing I'm going to talk about in the video, is you already know about the chakras, right? So we have 7 of them. I'm gonna use a different color here. We have 7, okay? It starts from here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, you have 7 of them. You're gonna imagine a menorah, which is a candle thing from the Jewish guys, which has 7 things as well. So it has like 2 here, then like 3, 4, 5, 6, and would have a 7th one. So something like this. It's kind of not the greatest drawing that I did, but that's the idea. You have the whole thing right here, and you have the flames, right? So it's not perfect, but that's the idea. You can search some picture right there of a menorah. And then the idea is that each of these is going to be one of your chakras, okay? Like this. And you visualize it, all the flames drawing power together and getting out of the base like this to get your objective. So imagine this menorah kind of like sideways, and then it connects, it plugs into each one of your chakras, and then all the fire from it goes through the base like a cannon. This is super powerful, okay? And remember, every time you're imagining something, use all the senses that you can to the maximum detail. So if you're seeing, put it on 4K, 8K, 12K. If you're hearing something, put it like on max volume. Smelling, smell it, taste it, touch it, everything. Okay? Do this and imagine that this is shooting the goal that you want. Let's say this trip you want to do, this new project that you want to make, whatever it is, this new body you want to have. Just do this. Let me know in the comments how it works out for you. But that's it. That's gonna be a short one. After the trip, give me some insights. I am Matt Mora. If you have any content suggestions, let me know. I usually make content on Kabbalah, astrology, tarot, esoteric stuff, and so on. And if you want some kind of help or service related to those things, make sure to DM me, send me a message. Also, share this video or like it, subscribe, anything. Just let me know if you like it or not, because then I can keep making those. Okay, that's it for today. Hope to see you on the next video. Bye bye.